The starving tiger leapt into the ocean, desperate to hunt. A man standing nearby couldn't help but laugh at the sight. But to his surprise, after circling in the water for a bit, the tiger started swimming straight toward him. The smile instantly vanished from the man's face. He jumped into a lifeboat as fast as he could. The tiger tried to climb aboard, but the slick sides of the boat gave it no grip. The man spotted an axe on the boat, and it seemed like the perfect chance to finish the tiger off. He shouted at the animal, psyching himself up for what he was about to do. But when he looked into the tiger's eyes, he froze. He couldn't bring himself to strike. Hearing the tiger's low, pitiful whimper, John hesitated. He stayed in the boat until nightfall, torn by indecision. Finally, he made up his mind. He pushed a makeshift raft into the sea and dropped a wooden plank down as a ladder. Just before the tiger could climb up, he jumped onto the raft himself, keeping a safe distance. The next morning, while the tiger rested, John moved all the supplies from the lifeboat onto the raft. While taking inventory, a large fish got caught in his trap. Acting fast, he yanked up the net and smashed the fish with his axe. Watching the color fade from its body, John broke down in tears. It was the first time he had ever taken a life. After whispering a prayer for forgiveness, he tossed the fish back into the lifeboat as an offering for the tiger. That night, as darkness fell, the sea lit up with glowing jellyfish. John was mesmerized by the breathtaking sight. Suddenly, a massive whale breached the surface, crashing down with a thunderous splash. The wave overturned his raft. All his food and fresh water sank into the endless ocean. Surrounded by nothing but salt water, John knew death was closing in. The starving tiger glared at him once again, eyes full of hunger. Then out of nowhere, a flying fish slammed into John, knocking him down. Without thinking, he tossed it to the tiger, but in the next instant, a whole swarm of flying fish came raining down. Salvation had arrived when he least expected it. Man and tiger scrambled to gather as many fish as they could. At one point, the tiger caught a large one. John saw his chance to assert dominance. He grabbed a stick and stood his ground. Under his fierce stare, the tiger backed off for the first time. But as John carried the big fish away, the tiger looked resentful. Then meeting John's gaze, it finally turned away and began eating a smaller one instead. That night, after cleaning and cooking the fish, John ate until he was full, for the first time since being lost at sea. But he also realized something important. If he wanted to survive, he had to tame the tiger completely. So, he carved a wooden stick and approached the lifeboat. Again, seeing him come closer, the tiger trembled, growling softly. But to its surprise, John offered a piece of fish instead of a weapon. He was trying to show kindness. Bit by bit, he tossed more fish, guiding the tiger closer. Through a mix of patience and persistence, John finally won the animal's trust. Days passed. John built a small canopy on the raft to block the sun, wrote in his journal, and used a stick to chase away sharks. Whenever it rained, he collected precious drops of fresh water. One day, they were surrounded by a playful pod of dolphins. Then in the distance, John spotted a ship. He fired his signal flare, shouting for help, but no one saw them. He used up every last flare, and the ship disappeared over the horizon. After that, man and tiger continued drifting together, companions in solitude. By now, they were almost like old friends, but their peace didn't last. One day, the sky darkened and a violent storm erupted. John's journal was blown into the wind. The tiger, terrified by the thunder, struggled to keep its balance. Watching it tremble, John's frustration boiled over. He screamed at the heavens in rage. "I've lost my family. I've lost everything. I surrender. What more do you want?" Then a massive wave hurled him into the sea. When he climbed back aboard, he found the tiger shivering in the cold rain. John rushed to patch up the torn canvas, trying to give the animal some shelter and comfort. Hours passed, and finally, the storm calmed. The ocean went still. Exhausted, John gently lifted the weakened tiger into his lap. After so many days adrift, the two of them had become like family, but with no food, no water, and nothing but endless blue around them. All that remained ahead was death. After drifting at sea for more than 200 days, the starving boy and the tiger finally reached a deserted island. The island was lush and green, filled with edible plants. The boy casually pulled up a root from the ground. To his surprise, it was edible. Encouraged, he continued deeper into the island. And then something magical happened. Tens of thousands of meerkats were living there, each one cute, dazed, and harmless. Looking carefully, the boy made his way to the center of the island, where a crystal-clear pond shimmered in the sunlight. He drank and swam in the cool water, while the tiger feasted freely nearby. Everything seemed peaceful, almost idyllic, but danger was quietly drawing near. Later, the boy wandered into the woods and built a small makeshift shelter in the trees. Just as he was about to lie down and rest, he turned around, only to see all the meerkats running for their lives. Even the tiger bolted back toward the boat in panic, as if fleeing from something terrifying. The boy didn't think much of it. He simply lay down and fell asleep. When he woke again, he was stunned. The once clear pond was now glowing in eerie green, filled with the floating remains of dead animals. He soon realized the horrifying truth. At night, the water turned into a highly corrosive acid. He plucked a strange-looking flower, peeled back its petals, and inside was a human tooth. From a distance, the tiger stood staring blankly at him, and from afar, the whole island shape looked just like a woman lying on her back. It was then that the boy finally understood. This was a man-eating island. He didn't dare stay any longer. At first light, he packed up whatever food he had gathered, loaded it onto the boat, and set off with the tiger, once again into the open sea. Strangely, after they left, no one ever saw that island again. It was as if it had never existed at all. After drifting who knows how long, they finally reached the coast of Mexico. The boy, exhausted and frail, stepped onto the shore. The tiger, now little more than skin and bone, staggered toward the forest ahead. Then it stopped. The boy thought, just maybe, the tiger would turn back to look at him one last time. But it didn't. Without a glance, it disappeared into the trees. After more than 200 days together, through fear, hunger, and survival, there was no farewell, no last look. The tiger was simply gone. When rescuers finally found the boy, He broke down in tears, crying like a child who had lost his best friend. He couldn't understand. After everything they had been through together, how could the tiger just walk away, without a trace of hesitation?